Job's not done yet, but we've talked about this getting to the second week. What does that mean to you to get to this Atlanta regional?
Well, I mean, as I said yesterday, Thursday was the first NCAA win for a lot of our team, a lot of our guys. We haven't been past the first weekend since 2019 when we got to the Final Four. So being the #1 overall seed, you know, obviously would have been really disappointing if we didn't do it again. You know, we got upset by Miami as the 2 seed a couple years ago with a great team with Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith. But we played a team in Creighton tonight that is as good as the teams that we'll see in Atlanta. And whether it's, you know, whether it was Michigan or Texas A&M, or I'm not even sure who the other two are, Michigan State. Who does Michigan State play? New Mexico? Okay. There'd be great teams in Atlanta, but we knew that Creighton was going to be as good as anybody we would see on the road to the Final Four. I feel that way. So hopefully this is something that we can build on.
Here in the front on the left.
Coach, he got hurt early into the second half, but Chad Baker-Mazara scored 12 points in 6.5 minutes to get you started. Can you talk about the effort that he gave you in a game that you won ultimately by 12 points?
Yeah, I mean, Chad was being guarded by a freshman, and you know, Jackson McAndrew, who had a great offensive game, but Chad had the advantage, and we were able to get him in a ball screen action where he was able to turn corners and get downhill and score the basketball. You know, and I thought in the first half, where we weren't shooting a very good percentage, the guys were going downhill, and I don't want to say they were trying to draw fouls, but we were winding up being on the floor, and the fouls weren't called, and that was not good. I thought in the second half we stopped that, and we just went down there and tried to get buckets. And Chad, you know, obviously he's a $175 soaking wet, and you know, he's got a bony ass. And so when he lands on the ground, you know, bam, it's wood on bone. And so he probably got a pretty good bruise. Hopefully that's all it is.
Front row on the right.
Bruce, especially Tahad in Denver, got downhill, got to the lane and scored. How important was that to be able to take the ball to the basket with those two guys especially?
Well, when you go up against drop coverage, obviously you're going to be able to get a ball screen and you're going to be able to turn corners. Creighton does a great job of funneling everybody to the rim, to the shot blocker. Combination of, we try to put a body on the shot blocker on the backside so he couldn't rotate over. And then when he did rotate over, those guys, particularly Tahad, Chad, Denver had a big bucket late. We're able to get in the lane and make buckets, and then we had some backside rebounding there to take advantage of the shot blocking. So it was a very simple game plan. Stephen Pearl had the scout tonight, and he had an absolutely masterful game plan. Particularly, Stephen was focused on the defensive end, just really, really good. I know it didn't look like it in the first half when they were banging all those threes, but I thought we, you know, obviously held a really good offensive team to 70 points and to hold them to, you know, the shooting percentage in the second half of 42%, 23% from three was huge. And then Mike Burgermaster, my offensive coordinator, we had a real good feel for, depending upon where the big fella, who he was guarding, about what actions that we wanted to run to be able to get open shots and to be able to get downhill.
Front row on the right.
Chad Winch with the Barn Media Group. Coach, how does having a core group of seniors give you an advantage in a win like this?
Well, I think it's always an advantage when you have older guys, but my older guys haven't been here before. You know, Creighton's been to the Sweet 16 4 out of the last 5 years. Those guys on that team have been to the Sweet 16 for 3 or 4 of the last 5 years. I don't have anybody on our team. And one of the best performers in the second half was a freshman. So some of that experience thing, it's important, but it wasn't the factor tonight.
Third row here on the right, sorry.
Yeah, Bruce, Ben Baby with ESPN. What changed in the second half, keeping their point guard and McAndrew? They went off in the first half. Y'all seemed to limit them in the second half. What did y'all do defensively to make sure that the ball got out of their hands?
You know, we really worked harder at getting our bigs up to the level. Like even we talked about in the first half, our bigs were still playing too far back from their men and not able to get out there and impact those ball screens and keep Creighton on the perimeter. I would say fatigue could have been a bit of a factor in the sense that the way we guard kind of makes Creighton have to work really hard to get open and to get looks, and it does take its toll a little bit. I thought our physicality on the rebounding and our physicality just being bodies on bodies, I think they were a little fatigued in the second half.
Third row here on the left.
Yeah, kind of following up on that, first Gary Graves, Associated Press, but following up on that, what was the one thing that you saw in the first half that, I guess, in the absence of your shooting, you were getting rebounds and stuff? Did you just kind of tell them, just go to the boards harder and good things will happen on the other end?
The halftime talk was easy. Guys, they've banged 9 threes. We've missed a couple of inside shots. We're shooting 30-something%, and we're down, what, a bucket? Are you kidding me? Creighton's got to go into the halftime going, how are we only up 2 points? We shot well, we executed well, we made 9 threes. We should be winning by double digits. But we made some offense out of our defense, and we were more dominant on the boards, particularly got some big offensive rebound baskets. So we found a way to try to manufacture enough points to still be in the game. I thought we were in great shape at halftime, considering how well Creighton played, and the margin was what it was.
We'll try to get 3 quick ones in here. Front row on the left.
Yeah, Bruce, Ed Peak, CBS News, they wanted to know, and I already sent that piece about the hostages. Forgive me for not doing my homework on this, but what made you say that and got you to, do you have friends, or is it anything that you...
I think what made me say it is, again, it starts, with my faith, and it starts with answering the question, why has God blessed Auburn and this basketball team the way he has all season long? And honestly, it's to, I think, put us in a platform of, in this case right now, myself as a Jewish American who loves his country more than anything else in the world. My grandfather came over here at 11 years old in 1929. He became a citizen when he was 32 years old. He said it was the greatest day of his life. This Jewish American loves his country more than anything else. At the same time, over in Israel, that's our ancestral homeland for the Jewish people, and it's under attack. It's under attack. It's under siege. And all it wants to do is live in peace with its neighbors. And you know what? There are some Arab countries that are actually wanting peace with Israel right now. But there's a segment of the population that is there in the Middle East that has been doing nothing but attacking Israel for 80, 85 years. October 7th was the worst day since the Holocaust for the Jewish people. And they say they want to do it again and again and again. We have Americans that are held hostage in Gaza right now. It's unacceptable.
Auburn wins on the floor as they move on to the Sweet 16, 82-70. Creighton, it's night-night for Creighton. And man, if UConn loses tomorrow, the Big East is done. Out of the tournament. This is not a great showing, unfortunately, but there's a lot. Look, the SEC is good. The Big Ten is perfect so far right now. 10-0 for Creighton. It's another loss. 0-4 all time against one seeds, number 1 overall seeds, as they fall to Auburn. Hey, they had a 2-point lead at halftime, but just couldn't keep it going in the second half. And Creighton, a hell of a season for the Creighton Blue Jays, but they just run into the number 1 overall seed.